Good day, everybody. Welcome to Life Sciences Grade 11. My name is Duduzile Kupeka. I am your teacher for Life Sciences. On the screen, you will see my email address. This is for when you need anything related to life sciences. You are always welcome to send me a message and I will respond. Whether it's homework or whatever work really that's life sciences related and you're struggling with it, you can send me a query and I'll assist you with that work. Topic for today is excretion in humans. Remember last week, the past week or two, we were dealing with respiration and breathing. So now we are moving to excretion. So what do you know about excretion? In this topic, we'll cover various things. We'll learn about excretion in the lungs, kidneys, bladder, liver, alimentary canal, and skin. We will also learn about the substances these organs excrete. We will also learn about the structure of the urinary system, the kidney and the nephrons. We'll also study homeostatic control of water and salts. And then we'll discuss diseases affecting the functioning of the kidneys. So guys, you'll notice here we are doing quite a lot. It sums around livers, water and salts. Remember we did discuss at some point, just briefly, we discussed homeostatic control of the kidneys, whereby it's controlling osmoregulation, which is the water and salt concentration in your body. Now we need to understand exactly why. So just excretion, what do you know about excretion? Let's think of excretion in general terms so we can understand why it's so important in the body. Think of your house. In your house, you've got garbage. You cook, you create a lot of garbage as well, right? You're using empty boxes, eggshells, potato peels, tomato peels, anything and everything that you no longer need that needs to be thrown away, that is waste. We produce a lot of waste daily in our households. Now you probably have a bin inside your house or a bin outside, the big one there. Either way, you have a bin and you need to continuously put the rubbish in the bin, right? What happens then when you do not throw out the rubbish that is in the bin? Let's say there's rubbish in the house. The bin is in the house, in the kitchen. What happens if you don't throw out the rubbish that's in the house? Or what happens if you don't throw out the bin? Because pick it up will come by the truck. The pick it up trucks will come by weekly to collect the rubbish in our bins, right? But what happens when 2 weeks or 3 weeks passes and pick it up did not come? Your bins would be so full, so full. You'd probably need to get another bin to put more of the waste you produce daily. And then what happens then if you run out of those things? It will also smell, right? Because there's now too much waste. It's dirty. You'd even have flies around. It would be dirty. It would just make the atmosphere and the environment dirty as well. That's exactly what happens in your system. You take in a lot of things. You eat, you ingest quite a number of things, and you breathe in the air, different types of air, you in different environments, and you breathe in air. Then you need to excrete the waste that the body does not need. The same way you need to throw out the bin in your house. It's the same way you will need to throw out that type of waste from your body, because your body can't deal with that much waste anymore if you don't throw it away. And that's the importance of excretion, because then you'll start having problems caused by this waste that is not excreted. Notice when you are constipated and you haven't gone to the toilet for too long, your stomach will start to hurt because now you really need to release something, but it's not being released. And that's still bad for your system. Imagine you've got all the salt in your body and you can't release it. It will also be bad for your body because remember, your body needs to maintain a certain state of homeostasis whereby things are kept regulated. Let's say you have too much carbon dioxide and you're not excreting it. There's too much waste in your system. You need to release that. You see? So excretion plays a very, very important role in your health overall. This topic here will provide an overview of the main organs of excretion in humans and their excretory products. It also focuses on the structure and function of the urinary system of humans and its different diseases and disorders. Excretion is the regulation, transport, and removal of metabolic waste products such as urine or carbon dioxide from a living cell or organism across cell membranes. So this year, when you're asked what is excretion, this is the explanation. It is the regulation, the transport, and removal of metabolic waste products. Examples of those metabolic waste products are urine or carbon dioxide from a living cell or organism, which move across what? Across cell membranes, remember? Yes. Approximately 60% of the human body consists of water. About 60% of you in your body, there's water. And of which, out of that 60%, 40% is found in the cells as part of the protoplasm. You remember in the protoplasm, you find the cytoplasm as well as the nucleoplasm, right? And then 20% of that is found outside the cells in what is called the extracellular fluid. So you understand this. Inside the cells, in the protoplasm, 40% of this water is found in the protoplasm. Then 20% of that is found outside the cells in an extracellular liquid or fluid. Extracellular fluid is made up of what? When we speak of extracellular fluid, it's made up of blood plasma, which is about 5%, and liquid surrounding cells, which are called tissue fluid. So you've got different types of fluids in your body. The extracellular fluid consists of the blood plasma and tissue fluid. Toxic metabolic waste must be removed from the tissue fluid into the bloodstream, from where it is removed by the kidneys, lungs, liver, intestines, bladder, and skin out of the body in a process known as excretion. So this waste that you produce, it needs to be removed from the tissue fluid into the bloodstream. So from where it comes from the kidneys, from the lungs, well, the kidneys will give you the waste, like the excess salts, right? You get the excess salts. From lungs, you'd get what? You'd get the carbon dioxide. From livers, you'd get the fats and the sugars there. Intestines, you get the waste from digestion, from the digestive system, the excess waste that is there in the intestines. Bladder contains what? Contains now the urine, which is excess water or excess salts that need to be excreted from your body, as well as the skin. All of those are organs which are involved in the process of excretion in the body. So they're involved one way or the other. They play a part in releasing or excreting waste from the body. Human beings have two kidneys. We know that you have two kidneys, your left kidney and your right kidney. But it is important to know that you can survive with only one functioning kidney. That's why when someone, let's say someone close to you needs a kidney, you would go and you'd go and donate a kidney to that person. A kidney can be donated to the person so that they survive, because you can actually survive with only one. So you can donate one to the person and then you survive. You can also survive with one. So you'd be giving someone one of your, let's say it's someone close to you, yeah. Or even strangers. You know, some people do organ donation where they donate to strangers. So that can happen as well. You donate it because you can survive with only one. And then urinary system diseases include what? The cystitis, which is the kidney infections, and bilharzias, which is severe inflammatory reaction in the walls of the bladder that find their way to the interior of the bladder. This here happens when what? It's the bladder that is, there's an inflammation on the bladders. So it happens on the walls of the bladder. It affects firstly the wall. And then because it's an inflammation, and it usually find its way to move to the interior of the bladder. So it affects the whole entire structure there. Kidney failure is treated with dialysis and kidney transplants. So one way someone can get dialysis, a kidney dialysis, they can get dialysis to treat them. But if it's too severe, then you might actually, because dialysis is something that needs to happen every day. So you would need to, at some point, you might need to get a more permanent solution, such as getting your, what's this? Getting a kidney transplant. But there are so many issues surrounding that it's very difficult to get a transplant, because even as it stands now, the waiting lists are so long for people who want to get transplants. The waiting lists are very long as it stands right now. You'd find that when you wanna get, let's say you are in need of a transplant, the only way it could save you maybe is if someone close to you just goes to donate directly to you. But if you will just wait for the general donations in the list there, in the donor list, then it will be very difficult and almost impossible actually, because the lists are so long in the hospitals. People are still waiting. So people usually in dialysis, you'd find that most of them are actually waiting for the transplant. And because so few people are donating the organs, it makes it difficult. That's why we are encouraged to donate our organs. We are being encouraged to donate blood. You can even start with blood. It could help. It saves many lives. Donate organs, maybe even the liver. People donate livers, but with liver, you know, you only have one, but they cut just a piece of your liver to donate it to someone who needs it more, you know, many things. And then others even go to the extreme whereby you are a registered organ donor, so that should anything happen, suppose you die, when you die, they would take all your organs, because you would have signed up to be an organ donor. And then they donate it to someone and give someone hope and a chance, a fair shot in life. So there are many ways you can play your part in helping people, in helping and ensuring people live and survive. So think of it, ne? Just think about it, think of the options. This here is the summary of this excretion system. It will show you the role. Let me highlight for you. I'll highlight the organs. You've got the kidneys here. You've got the skin over there. You've got lungs. There, these three. Skin is involved in excretion of water in the form of sweat. Remember when I don't know, maybe I didn't do it with this class. I confuse these grades. We did in one of the classes, we're doing a homeostasis. We're studying the process of homeostasis. And then we learned about how thermoregulation occurs, whereby sweat is how sweat is produced in the body. So you can excrete water in the form of sweat. And then there'll be also an excretion of carbon dioxide when you exhale. That will come from your lungs, right? Lungs are important in the respiratory system. So lungs release carbon dioxide, that's the waste. And then kidneys, they involve many other structures. That's why we will learn a whole lesson. We'll learn about how exactly kidneys play that role in ensuring excretion. It plays a huge role in maintaining water and salt balance. And many various other structures are involved in the functioning of the kidneys to ensure that excretion occurs. So we'll learn about that as we go. And then background now. What's the background of all of this is this. Cells produce water and carbon dioxide as byproducts of metabolic breakdown of sugars, fat, and protein. Let me show you this equation just here quickly. We have glucose. You have glucose. This here happens during cellular respiration. There's glucose. And then you will take in, remember when we learned about this, we learned about it actually when we did respiration and gaseous exchange last week, that you have glucose and what? Oxygen. Remember when your body requires more energy, it will need to take in more oxygen. Why? Because you need the input of oxygen and glucose to give you the products which are carbon dioxide, water, which is H2O, and ATP, which is an energy carrying molecule, ATP. That is why when we learned about how the body, when you're running, you remember when we learned about the athletes when they run, the breathing rate increases so that you can be able to take in more oxygen to be able to provide more energy. That's how it links. It's the oxygen you need, it's a reactant or an input you need to be able to get carbon dioxide, H2, and ATP, energy you need for your cells, right? There. That's why we say cells produce water and carbon dioxide. This is what happens, the equation for cellular respiration. They produce water and carbon dioxide as well as ATP, which is a form of energy, as byproducts of metabolic breakdown of sugars. There, this is an example of sugar breakdown to give you those products. And then chemical elements such as nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus must be stripped from the large molecule to which they were formerly attached as part of preparing them for energy conversion. So these ones as well that undergo different ways in which they are broken down to provide energy. You need to break it down for energy conversion. So you need to remove them for other molecules that they are attached to. And then the continuous production of metabolic waste establishes a steep concentration gradient across the plasma membrane, causing waste to diffuse out of cells and into the extracellular fluid. You see, the more you break down, the more you take in oxygen and sugar or glucose, then you break down and you produce more waste products such as carbon dioxide and water, right? You keep on producing these and lots of them. Now, in moderation, yes, they are good for you. But when there's too much intake of these, then it won't be bad. It would be bad for your body, like we've mentioned. You can't have too much of anything in your body. Even the waste will need to be excreted from your body to give you a fair shot so that your body can function optimally, right? That's what happens there. That continuous production of the metabolic waste will establish that steep concentration gradient across the plasma membrane. Then the waste will diffuse out of the cells into the extracellular fluid. That happens. Then the process of excretion involves finding and removing waste materials produced by the body. That's the process. It involves, you don't just excrete waste. It needs to continuously you find these waste materials and you remove them. So the body functions very well. I mean, our bodies communicate so beautifully. So they find those waste products and excrete, find waste products and excrete, find waste products and excrete. And then the primary organs of excretion are what? Primary organs, we learned about that. We've got the lungs, you have kidneys, and the skin. Remember, skin release water in a form of sweat. Kidneys release water and excess salt. Lungs excrete or remove carbon dioxide. Waste gases are carried by blood traveling through the veins to the lungs where gas exchange takes place. So that whole process, we learned it. I'm so glad we learned it together last week. So we understand that part. We learned it together. We understood it. How gaseous exchange occurs in the lungs. Exactly what we learned. This applies now here. If you have forgotten it, go back on YouTube. We have videos from last week. They are dated. Even the topics will help you find the work. No? And then dead cells and sweat are removed from the body through the skin. So with lungs play a role in removing the excess gas, right? The gaseous exchange. And then the dead cells then and sweat are removed from the body through the skin. And then excretory systems regulate the chemical composition of body fluids by removing metabolic wastes and retaining the proper amounts of water, salts, and nutrients. This here is regulated mostly there as well in the kidneys. Components of this system in vertebrates includes the kidneys, liver, lungs, and skin. So each organ is mainly playing a role in different parts of these. In summary, the excretory system functions are, these are the functions of the excretory system. It is collect water and filter body fluids. You collect the excretory system or functions. It does what? It collects the water and it filters the body fluids. Then it removes and concentrate waste products from body fluids and return other substances to body fluids as necessary for homeostasis. So it would do that. It would remove and concentrate waste products from body fluids and return other substances to body fluids as necessary for homeostasis. Remember, homeostasis, the main point is to maintain balance. So it needs to keep your conditions at balanced or normal levels. If there's too high a concentration of anything, it would bring it down. If there's too low a concentration of anything, it would bring it back up. So let me make an example of osmoregulation. Let's say that you have too high salt content in your body. Then it would bring it back down. The salt content, it would bring the salt content back down so that they're at normal levels. If your salt content is too low, then it would bring it back up to make sure it's back to normal conditions. It does that through the help of hormones as well. Remember, and other glands that we learned about. And then the third function is to eliminate excretory products from the body. So it collects them, it concentrates them in one place, and then it eliminates them. So that's the whole point. When you want to clean up your house, it's dirty, you'd sweep, you'd collect, you go collect all the dirt, you sweep, or you collect all the papers thrown around by your child or whatever, you pick them up by your siblings. Say your siblings, you have siblings in the house and they throw out toys or dirt all around the house. You'd collect, right? Then you'd sweep, you collect. Then they're in concentrated place. What do? You would maybe take, the dustpan, put that waste together in the dustpan, then you eliminate, you remove that from the house to outside the bin, or you take the main bin to the pick it up truck. Other way, you're eliminating it, you're removing it completely. That's what happens. Those are the steps, 3 steps you need to remember. And then let's sum up the excretory organs and their functions. Just quickly review them again. We will discuss them in detail one by one. Vacuum, oh yes, yes, Butle, vacuum even helps us in that way. Hey, I'm old-fashioned, most me nice sweep. You guys have vacuums. I want to give you this homework. We will discuss the answers tomorrow in class. I'm looking for it just now. I want to upload it so that we can work on it tomorrow in class. Week 4, activity 1, 20 July. It's from the Via Africa Life Sciences Learners book. I've uploaded it. If you're having trouble downloading it, you are welcome to send me an email and I'll send it to you. There is the activity. We'll mark it in class together. For now, we do these organs. Let's highlight and just get an overview of what these organs do. Kidneys are the major organs of the excretory system. Excretory system. Kidneys are the major ones. They play a huge role in the excretory system. And then we've got what as well? The liver. This organ is part of the circulatory, the digestive, and excretory system. So the liver is involved in 3 different systems. It's in the circulatory system, it's in the digestive system, and the excretory system. Its functions in the excretory system include breakdown of some proteins and other nitrogenous compounds by deamination, and as a result of these reactions, forming nitrogenous urea. So it does that part. It breaks down some proteins and other compounds with nitrogen, né? By deamination. So it deaminates those ones. And then as a product or a result of those reactions, it forms what we call the nitrogenous urea. We'll learn all about that later stage. Skin, what does the skin do? Sweat is a mixture of what? Of water, salts, and urea. Did you know that? I think we've mentioned again that mostly maybe you just think it's salt and water. There's urea there. The urine that you excrete there through your bladder. You also excrete it there through your skin. That's why it probably smells. So it smells like this, ne? Okay, so it's water, salt, and urea. So as you sweat, your body is cooled and metabolic wastes are excreted. So it plays a role. Sweat plays a role in thermoregulation as well as in the excretion of waste. So it plays like hitting two birds with one stone. And then the lungs. How are lungs involved? Carbon dioxide is a waste product of respiration. You know this very well. We covered this for over 2 weeks. It's a product of respiration. It diffuses out of the cells and into the bloodstream. So the carbon dioxide diffuses out of the cells and into the bloodstream, which eventually circulates to the lungs. In the alveoli, carbon dioxide diffuses into the lung tissue and then leaves the body every time we exhale. You remember that. This one we learned in detail. So if you've forgotten it, go back to last week's work to remind yourself. And then the human urinary system, also called the excretory system. This here is made up of all of these we've learned, and then as well as the main one is that when you speak of the urinary system, when you speak of the human urinary system, we are taking bearing to mind that it's the kidneys, ureters, bladder, and urethra. The nephron is the kidney's functional unit. Waste is filtered from the blood and collected as urine in each kidney. Then urine leaves the kidneys by ureters and collects in the bladder. The bladder can distend to store urine that eventually leaves through the urethra. So you know that, right? Bladder collects the urine. So when you feel you need to go to the toilet, it means the urine is there in the bladder, stored there until you release it, where it will be living through the urethra. So all of these play different roles. Urethra is the one that transports the urine from the bladder when you're excreting it. But the other ones there, the nephron is the functional unit, and then waste is filtered from the blood. So the urine is collected from the blood, where they collected the extra salts, urine, and water from the blood. It is then collected as urine and stored as urine in the kidneys, where it's cleaned and processed. Then urine will leave the kidneys by ureters. So those ones there that collect urine from the kidney are ureters, and then they store it in the bladder. Then the one that collects the urine from the bladder is the urethra. I keep erasing, I don't know how, I'm sorry. The urethra. But don't worry guys, we will learn in detail each and every one of these as we move along the week. Why excretion is necessary? Why is it necessary to excrete? Metabolic processes inside your living cells break down complex substances. During these reactions, toxic waste products such as carbon dioxide and nitrogenous waste are formed. If these toxic wastes are allowed to accumulate in your body, the cells begin to malfunction and over time even begin to die. Excretion is the regulation, transport, and removal of metabolic waste products from a living cell or organism across cell membranes. Remember, guys, I said something. I want to make another example. Just this one, maybe it'll make more sense to you. When you have potatoes, that are spoiled. Let's say you have potatoes. Then there's one rotten potato. Do you know that saying when they say one rotten potato spoils the whole bag? Yes, that's the perfect example of why excretion is necessary in our bodies. You have one rotten potato. And if you choose to not throw it out, you leave it there with all the other potatoes that are in a good condition. If they are in a good condition and you put them together there, then you are going to end up spoiling all other potatoes. You'll spoil all other potatoes there. You see, you might end up spoiling all other potatoes instead of just removing that one rotten potato to ensure you protect your whole bag. That's what happens in your body. When you don't excrete the waste, let's say you don't excrete urine, you feel you need to go to the toilet, you need to go urinate, but you do not urinate. You stay there and you don't urinate. Then what happens? Then you'll spoil the whole bag, even in fact clearly cause problems for your bladder. You understand that? That's what happens then. You will find out about the excretory processes, why it is a life-threatening situation when these processes cannot be carried out properly, and how modern science can be used to help remove the waste. So this is an interesting topic that we'll cover for this week. Yeah, I enjoyed this one a lot. How can modern day science help when the human excretory system fails? So example would be like what we discussed, the kidney dialysis, where you are assisted by machines to enable you to excrete waste. So that is it for today, ne? Tomorrow we will start from this slide over here, and then we'll also mark the homework that I gave you. So please do it, guys, ne? Thank you so much, everyone. I will see you tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Bye.